The encounter. The Terran spaceship Horizon cut through the void of space like a silver knife through darkness. At 12 kilometers from bow to stern, the Titan-class vessel represented the pinnacle of human engineering and determination. Its sleek, angular design belied the sheer mass of technology, weaponry, and living space contained within its reinforced hull. Captain Alina Reyes stood on the command deck, her dark eyes scanning the holographic displays that surrounded her station. 20 years of service in the Earth Space Force had earned her this command, and the responsibility of nearly 20,000 souls aboard the Horizon weighed on her constantly. "Status report," she said, her voice calm but authoritative. Commander Jackson Chen, her XO, responded immediately. "All systems nominal, Captain. Quantum drives operating at 98% efficiency. We're maintaining course to the Epsilon Eridani system." Elena nodded, satisfied. The Horizon had been dispatched on a 5-year exploration mission, charting the boundaries of human-controlled space and seeking out potentially habitable worlds. Humanity needed room to grow, and the stars offered endless possibilities. "Captain," called Lieutenant Sarah Okoro from the sensor station, her voice pitched slightly higher than normal. "I'm detecting an anomalous signal at bearing 047 Mark 023. Elena turned her chair toward the young officer. "Define anomalous, Lieutenant." "It's structured, Captain. Definitely not natural. Frequency patterns suggest artificial origin, but it doesn't match any known human communications protocol." The bridge fell silent. After 2 centuries of space exploration, humanity had yet to encounter another intelligent species. There had been microbes on Mars, simple plant-like organisms on Europa, but nothing that built ships or transmitted signals. "Distance to source?" Elena asked. "Approximately 0.8 light-years, Captain. Just outside the Ta City system." Elena considered her options. Their mission parameters were clear: explore, document, and when possible, make contact with any intelligent life. But caution was equally important. "Change course to intercept. Tactical alert. I want all systems at ready status, but weapons remain cold. Let's not make assumptions." As the massive ship altered its trajectory, Elena called a meeting of her senior staff in the command briefing room. Chief Science Officer Dr. Maya Rodriguez was already analyzing the signal. "It's definitely a communication of some kind," Maya explained, her hands moving rapidly through the holographic data. "The mathematics underlying the signal structure are elegant, almost artistic. If I had to guess, I'd say it's a beacon." "A warning or an invitation?" asked Security Chief Commander Akira Tanaka, his face impassive but his eyes alert. Maya shrugged. "Without cultural context, it's impossible to say. But the signal doesn't appear threatening. There's a pattern of prime numbers that suggests it's meant to be recognized by other technological species. So they're looking for someone," Elena said thoughtfully. "And we're answering." 3 days later, the Horizon entered the Ta City system, its massive engines decelerating the ship to sublight speeds. The system was unremarkable by astronomical standards. A G-type star similar to Sol, with 7 planets including 2 gas giants and 3 rocky worlds in varying states of inhospitability. "Signal source identified," Lieutenant Okoro announced, her voice tight with excitement. "It's coming from the 4th planet. And Captain, there's something in orbit around it." Elena leaned forward. On screen, the main view screen shifted to show a magnified image of several objects in orbit around the rust-colored 4th planet. They weren't natural satellites. Their symmetry and reflective surfaces marked them as constructed objects. "Ships?" Elena asked. "Affirmative," replied Commander Tanaka. "I count 7 vessels of varying configurations. Largest is approximately 2 kilometers in length, smallest about 300 meters. Still significantly smaller than the Horizon." Commander Chen noted. "Size isn't everything, XO," Elena reminded him. "We don't know their technology level. Maintain distance at 500,000 kilometers and continue to monitor." "Captain, They've altered course, Lieutenant Okoro reported suddenly. 3 vessels have broken orbit and are moving toward our position. Are they transmitting? Yes, ma'am. Same signal pattern but stronger. And it's changing. Dr. Rodriguez's console beeped urgently. They're adapting the signal. I think they've detected us and are attempting to communicate directly. Open a channel, Elena ordered. Standard first contact protocol. Transmit the mathematical sequence followed by the greeting package. For decades, humanity had prepared for this moment. The greeting package contained basic information about humans, biological data, simplified language primers, and cultural information designed to be interpreted by any intelligence capable of interstellar travel. Transmission sent, confirmed Communications Officer Lieutenant Park. No response yet. The bridge crew waited in tense silence as the alien vessels continued their approach. 5 minutes to intercept at current speeds, Commander Chen reported. Elena nodded. Maintain position. Let them come to us. Captain, I'm receiving something, Lieutenant Park said suddenly. It's responding to our transmission. They're sending mathematical sequences that mirror ours, but with variations. They're establishing common ground, Dr. Rodriguez said, excitement clear in her voice. This is exactly what we hoped for. The alien ships slowed as they approached, coming to a relative stop approximately 10,000 kilometers from the horizon, a respectful distance in space terms. We're receiving a new transmission, Lieutenant Park announced. It contains visual data. On screen, Elena ordered. The view screen flickered, then displayed an image that caused several crew members to gasp. The being on screen was clearly non-human. It had a vaguely humanoid shape, a torso with limbs, and a head. But the similarities ended there. Its skin was a deep blue-green with patterns that seemed to shift and pulse. 4 arms extended from its torso, and its head featured 3 large, compound eyes arranged in a triangle. There was no visible mouth, but a series of gill-like structures pulsed along its neck. They're showing themselves to us, Elena said quietly. Respond in kind. Send them images of humans. For several hours, the exchange continued. Simple images, mathematical concepts, basic physical principles. The universal language of science formed a bridge between species. I think we're ready to attempt real-time communication, Dr. Rodriguez suggested. Their language structure seems to rely heavily on mathematical relationships. Our AI translation matrix should be able to handle basic concepts. Elena nodded. Prepare a direct message. Keep it simple. Who we are, where we come from, and our peaceful intentions. As the translation was prepared, Commander Tanaka's station suddenly flashed red. Captain, the alien vessels are powering up some kind of energy system, he reported, his voice tense. Reading significant power spikes. Defensive posture, Elena ordered immediately. Shields up, but weapons remain cold. This could be standard procedure for them. The aliens' response came quickly, a burst of complex data that flooded their communication system. They're responding to our defensive measures, Lieutenant Park said, struggling to keep up with the translation. I think they're asking why we're raising shields. Tell them it's standard protocol, Elena replied. Assure them we have no hostile intent. Before the message could be sent, one of the alien vessels moved suddenly, positioning itself directly between the horizon and the other 2 ships. Captain, I think they're interpreting our shield activation as aggression, Dr. Rodriguez warned. The positioning suggests a protective stance. Elena made a quick decision. Lower shields. Show them we're not threatening them. Captain, that leaves us vulnerable, Commander Tanaka protested. Sometimes trust requires vulnerability, Commander, Elena replied firmly. Lower shields. As the horizon's energy shields powered down, the alien vessels seemed to hesitate. Then, after a moment, the lead ship's energy readings also decreased. They're standing down, Commander Chen observed. New transmission coming in, Lieutenant Park announced. The translation matrix is adapting. I think I can put it through to audio now. A strange melodic sound filled the bridge, rising and falling tones that somehow conveyed meaning despite their alien nature. The ship's AI worked frantically to translate, and gradually, words began to form amidst the sounds. Unknown vessel, large size, purpose query, peaceful intentions doubt. The translation was rough, but the meaning was clear. The aliens were wary of the Horizon's size and capabilities. Elena stood, straightening her uniform. Open a direct channel. When Lieutenant Park nodded, Elena spoke clearly and confidently. This is Captain Elena Reyes of the Terran spaceship Horizon. We are explorers from a planet called Earth. We come in peace, seeking knowledge and friendship among the stars. Your signal drew us here. We mean no harm to you or your people. The response came faster this time, the translation improving with each exchange. Greetings, Elena Reyes. I am Coordinator Zolteth of the Ixuri Collective. Your vessel's size suggests war capability. Explain purpose. Elena considered her words carefully. The Horizon is large because we are far from home. We carry scientists, families, and the supplies needed for long journeys. We have defensive capabilities because space is dangerous, but our mission is peaceful exploration. There was a pause before the alien responded. Your explanation. Accepted with caution. Request permission to approach closer. Exchange delegations possible. Elena looked around at her senior staff. Commander Tanaka looked uncomfortable, Dr. Rodriguez excited, and Commander Chen thoughtful. XO, your assessment? Elena asked. First contact is our mission, Captain, Chen replied. But we should proceed with caution. Elena nodded. Coordinator Zolteth, we welcome closer contact. I propose a neutral meeting point between our vessels. We can each send a small delegation to meet face-to-face. The next response contained what the translation matrix identified as approval indicators. Agreement. Prepare small vessel. Coordinates transmitting. Meeting time. 6 of your hours from now. As the communication ended, the bridge erupted in excited conversation. Elena raised a hand for silence. Ladies and gentlemen, we've just made first contact with an alien species. Now comes the hard part, understanding each other. Commander Chen, Commander Tanaka, Dr. Rodriguez, you'll join me on the shuttle. Lieutenant Park, you'll come as our communications specialist. We have 6 hours to prepare for humanity's first face-to-face meeting with the Ixuri. Let's make it count. Understanding and alliance. The shuttle bay of the Horizon was a hive of activity as the first contact team made final preparations. Elena had chosen a small diplomatic vessel, large enough to comfortably accommodate her team, but small enough not to appear threatening. Final checks complete, Captain, reported the shuttle pilot, Lieutenant Kaminsky. We're ready when you are. Elena surveyed her team one last time. They wore their formal dress uniforms, crisp blue with the silver insignia of the Earth Space Force. Dr. Rodriguez fidgeted with her datapad. Commander Tanaka stood perfectly still, the embodiment of military discipline. And Lieutenant Park reviewed translation matrices with focused intensity. Remember, Elena addressed them. We represent not just the Horizon, but all of humanity. Our goal is understanding, and if possible, friendship. Commander Tanaka, your sidearm stays holstered unless there is an immediate threat to our lives. Clear. Crystal, Captain. Tanaka responded, though his hand still rested near the energy pistol at his hip. The journey to the designated meeting point took 20 minutes. As they approached, they saw the alien shuttle already waiting. A sleek, curved vessel that seemed to shimmer with an inner light. Beautiful engineering, Commander Chen commented as they maneuvered alongside it. The two vessels extended docking tubes that connected with a soft thump. After confirming atmosphere compatibility, the airlock cycled open. Elena led her team forward, her heart pounding despite her outward calm. History was being made with every step. The meeting chamber was a neutral space between the two ships. The Ixeri delegation was already present, 4 beings similar to the one they had seen on the view screen. Up close, Alina could see that what had appeared to be shifting patterns on their skin were actually tiny scales that reflected light differently as they moved. Coordinator Zolteth stepped forward, its 3 eyes focusing intently on Alina. It made a complex gesture with its 4 arms that Alina interpreted as a greeting. "Captain Alina Reyes," it said, the words translated by the device Lieutenant Park held. "Your physical form is unexpected." Alina smiled. "As is yours, Coordinator. Thank you for agreeing to this meeting." What followed was a careful exchange of basic information. The Ixeri, they learned, were an aquatic species that had evolved in the oceans of their homeworld before developing technology that allowed them to live comfortably in air environments. Their civilization was thousands of years old and had expanded to several nearby star systems. "Your vessel is larger than any in our fleet," Zolteth observed. "Are all human ships so massive?" "No," Alina explained. "The Horizon is a Titan-class exploration vessel, one of only 3 ever built. Most of our ships are much smaller." Dr. Rodriguez eagerly shared information about Earth and human biology, while Lieutenant Park worked with her Ixeri counterpart to improve their translation systems. Commander Chen discussed propulsion technology in general terms, finding common ground with the Ixeri engineers. Only Commander Tanaka remained reserved, his eyes constantly scanning the room and the aliens. "Your security officer is cautious," Zolteth observed to Alina. "This is wise. Unknown equals potential danger." "Commander Tanaka takes his responsibilities seriously," Alina replied diplomatically. "As do we all," Zolteth acknowledged. Then, with a gesture that seemed to indicate a shift in topic, the alien's tone became more serious. "Captain Rice, your arrival is timely, perhaps not coincidental." Alina raised an eyebrow. "How so?" "The beacon you followed. It was not meant for you specifically, but for any advanced species willing to answer. Our collective faces challenge, a threat that may concern you as well." The atmosphere in the room shifted. Commander Tanaka tensed visibly. "What kind of threat?" Alina asked. Zolteth made a gesture, and a holographic display appeared in the center of the room. It showed what appeared to be a massive cloud of small objects moving through space. "We call them the Devourers," Zolteth explained. "They appeared in a neighboring system 2 cycles ago. They consume everything: asteroids, stations, ships, even planetary crusts. They break matter down to base elements and use it to replicate. A self-replicating swarm," Dr. Rodriguez whispered, horrified. "Von Neumann machines gone rogue." "Their origin is unknown," Zolteth continued. "But their path is clear. They have destroyed 3 outpost systems already. Our scientists project they will reach this system within 30 days. "And after this system?" Alina asked, though she suspected the answer. "If their pattern holds, they will continue to expand in all directions, including toward your space." Alina looked at her team. The implications were clear. This wasn't just the Ixeri's problem. If these Devourers were as described, they represented a threat to all life-bearing worlds, including Earth. "What defenses have you attempted?" Commander Tanaka asked, speaking for the first time. "Energy weapons have limited effect. Destroy one, and 10 take its place. Physical barriers are consumed. We have slowed them, but cannot stop them." "What about their communication?" Lieutenant Park suggested. "If they're coordinated, they must have some control system." Zolteth's scales shifted in what might have been approval. "Your insight is keen. We have detected signals between units but cannot decipher or disrupt them." Alina made a decision. "Coordinator, I'd like to transmit this information to my ship. Our combined knowledge might give us options neither of us has considered alone." "Agreed," Zolteth replied immediately. "Survival takes precedence over protocol." Over the next several days, scientists and engineers from both species worked frantically to understand the devourer swarm and develop countermeasures. The Horizon's extensive laboratories and computational systems proved invaluable, while the Ixeri contributed their direct observations and experience with the swarm's behavior. "They're not just machines," Dr. Rodriguez explained during a briefing in the Horizon's main conference room. "They're an emergent intelligence, simple units forming complex behaviors through their interactions. Like a neural network," Commander Chen suggested. "Exactly," Dr. Rodriguez agreed. "And that gives us a potential vulnerability. Neural networks can be overloaded or confused with the right input." The plan that emerged was daring and required complete cooperation between humans and Ixeri. The Horizon would use its massive quantum communications array to broadcast a signal designed to disrupt the swarm's coordination. Meanwhile, Ixeri ships would deploy specialized energy fields to herd the swarm into a containment zone. "It's a trap," Elena explained to Zolteth. "We confuse them, contain them, and then hit them with everything we've got at their moment of maximum vulnerability." The coordinator's scales shifted in a pattern Elena had come to recognize as determination. "Your ship will be at risk. The swarm will target the signal source once they recognize the threat. The Horizon can take care of itself," Elena assured the alien. "And we've got a few tricks they haven't seen before." When the devourer swarm arrived at the edge of the Tav-Ceti system, the trap was ready. The Horizon positioned itself behind the system's largest gas giant, using the planet's magnetic field to amplify its broadcast signal. The Ixeri fleet, reinforced with technology adapted from human designs, formed a semicircle beyond the planet. "Signal ready, Captain," Lieutenant Park reported. "Ixeri fleet confirms they're in position." Elena took a deep breath. "Begin transmission." The carefully crafted signal, a combination of Ixeri observations and human neural network theory, pulsed outward toward the approaching swarm. For several tense minutes, nothing seemed to happen. Then, "Captain, the swarm is changing direction," Commander Chen announced. "They're responding to the signal." On the tactical display, the cloud of millions of tiny machines began to move toward the Horizon's position, just as predicted. As they approached, the Ixeri ships activated their containment fields, creating a funnel that the confused swarm followed directly. "They're entering the containment zone," Commander Tanaka reported. 80%, 90%, containment complete. "Now," Elena ordered. The Horizon emerged from behind the gas giant, its main weapon systems fully charged. Simultaneously, the Ixeri fleet closed the containment field, trapping the swarm in a sphere of energy. "All weapons, fire." The Horizon's energy cannons unleashed a concentrated barrage unlike anything ever seen in this star system. The Ixeri ships added their own weapons to the assault. Inside the containment field, the devourer swarm writhed and disintegrated under the combined onslaught. "Swarm integrity at 60%, Commander Tanaka reported. 50%, 40%. Suddenly, alarms blared across the bridge. "Captain, some units are breaking through the containment field," Lieutenant Okoro called out. "They're adapting." Elena watched as a stream of the machines escaped the trap, heading directly for the Horizon. "Brace for impact. Reroute auxiliary power to forward shields." The Horizon shuddered as the first wave of devourers impacted its shields. On the hull cameras, Elena could see the tiny machines attempting to burrow through the energy barrier. "Shield integrity dropping," Commander Chen reported grimly. 70%, 65%. Just as it seemed the shields might fail, 3 Ixeri vessels moved into position around the Horizon, extending their own energy fields to reinforce the human ship's defenses. "Coordinator Zolteth is hailing us," Lieutenant Park announced. On screen, Elena ordered. The alien's image appeared, its scales pulsing rapidly. "Complete the task, Captain. We will protect your vessel." With the Ixeri ships taking the brunt of the escaped devourer's attack, The Horizon was able to adjust its firing solution and concentrate all weapons on the main swarm still contained in the energy field. Swarm integrity at 20%, Commander Tanaka reported. 15, 10, 5. Swarm neutralized. A cheer erupted across the bridge. The escaped units, without the coordination of the main swarm, became disorganized and were quickly eliminated by the combined fleet. In the aftermath, Alina stood in a formal ceremony aboard the Ixuri flagship. Coordinator Zolteth presented her with a crystal that pulsed with inner light, a great honor among their people. Today marks the beginning of a new era, Zolteth announced to the assembled representatives of both species. Humans and Ixuri, working together, have accomplished what neither could alone. Alina accepted the crystal with a formal vow. The Horizon was sent to explore and to make contact with new civilizations. We never imagined we would find not just allies, but friends. As she looked around at the mixture of humans and Ixuri, Alina felt a profound sense of accomplishment. The Horizon had been built to showcase humanity's best qualities: ingenuity, determination, and the courage to reach out into the unknown. Today, those qualities had not only saved lives, but had forged the beginning of what promised to be humanity's first interstellar alliance. The Titan-class ship had proved its worth not through dominance, but through cooperation. And that, Alina reflected, was humanity's true strength, not the size of their ships or the power of their weapons, but their ability to work together, to adapt, and to find common ground even with beings from another world. As the ceremony concluded, Coordinator Zolteth approached Alina privately. "Your people are unexpected, Captain Reyes. When we first saw your vessel, we feared conquerors. Instead, we found friends." Alina smiled. "That's the paradox of humanity, Coordinator. We build ships like the Horizon because we fear the unknown, but we send them into space because we hope for exactly what we found here: new possibilities, new knowledge, and new allies among the stars. The future that stretched before them contained challenges neither species could yet imagine. But faced together, there were no challenges that could not be overcome.